Jordan Karp is in with us, the Democratic chairman of the Board of Elections there in Oneida County. Welcome to the show, Jordan.
Switch it up. Have a beer instead of some vodka.
Yeah, nice cider.
It is. Well, there's cider, and then there's apple ale, and I guess there's a difference. We could tell the difference in the taste.
Yeah.
Oh, at least we could about an hour ago. Now I'm probably not so sure about
It says
that.
vitamins in it, right?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. How's your vodka going there with your product?
Very good, actually. Very good. Yeah, we're going to have some big news coming at the end of the year, we think.
Great.
Yeah.
Good deal.
You got that bourbon and the gin, right?
Bourbon, gin, white whiskey. We just released a single malt yesterday.
Nice.
So only available at the distillery.
Awesome.
Only 300 bottles or so.
Wow.
So
Available now?
Available now at the distillery only.
Wow. Mets fan, I know. I think you had a
Yes.
Mets cap on last time you were in here,
Yep.
and backs to the wall. Need
Yep.
a win tonight.
Absolutely. New York Metropolitans.
Yep. Billy Joel singing the national anthem. That could only help.
Maybe. We'll see.
You gonna sing along?
No.
Very good. Thanks for carving out some time to join us. I know it's a real busy time of the year for you, but maybe a misnomer, too. You guys are pretty much busy all year, I guess, right?
We are. So it's good to get out of the office and talk to actual real people.
Yeah,
For sure.
and a lot of changes. I think you've stepped up. I'll throw that out there. You stepped up. I know there was some confusion, some hubbub that had been entailed and flying around the Board of Elections past few years, and
Yeah, most of it not warranted, frankly.
Right. Yeah,
to be
that's
honest
true.
with you.
Yep.
So,
I agree with you there.
But, Rose Grimaldi, who's the Republican commissioner, and myself,
Yep.
sort of work well together. We disagree on things, and that's part of the job. And
Sure.
we understand it's not personal, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But as far as responding and having the information and the proper paperwork and the steps taken to do so, I think you guys have done a great job.
I hope you're not jinxing me for Tuesday.
Hey man, you got a few days, all right, and then you get the rest for a little bit.
Exactly.
Just move that mic a little closer to you there, Jordan. There you go.
Sure.
And Rose Grimaldi's name came up. It also came up in a voicemail that was left in your office there. I would like to play it quickly and get your reaction to it. It was Doug Jocelyn leaving this voicemail, and we had to bleep a portion of it out with our friends from KTV, who we got the audio from. Check it out.
I need for you to tell Rose Grimaldi that this has to stop, or I'm going to beat the out of every tester that I see the next time I see them. I'm very serious as a heart attack now, sir.
There's Doug Jocelyn with his voicemail to your office.
So I have a question. He refers that you have to tell Rose Grimaldi. So he was trying to reach Rose, and did he get to you instead?
Right.
That was on my voicemail.
Right. Yeah. What was your reaction to that when you got it?
Rose and I were at a meeting together, got back to my office, heard it, grabbed Rose, we listened to it again, and then made a decision, and the rest is you can read and hear about.
That's right. To the authorities, straight to the authorities with that, as anyone should do. How long was the full message, by the way? I know we played a portion of it there.
Around 45 seconds.
And do you know what the reference was?
He's upset that people were stealing his signs. So that's the basic context.
Right. So he'll be dealing with law enforcement officials there. The same day that was released, and we played it on our show, Jordan, there was a woman running for the mayoral seat in Toledo, Ohio, and she burst out in tongues and then issued a threat to people. Check it out.
Great destruction will come upon the Papa-Hashataya, Kulia Simahayanda, Holy Antiastico Kulia Nasai. Ye ma sandala de di I see Koshantala Lolosi. Ye ma sandala de.
Here comes the threat. Check it out.
Thank you, Jesus. That was a confirmation. If people don't give me what I earned in 2013 back, and I'm not on that seat in November, then you'll see God coming and visiting the city in the greatest destruction you've ever seen.
How about that?
That is a ringing endorsement for Toledo.
Or God.
Whichever.
Right. She, by the way, I think this is the 5th time she's run for the mayor of Toledo, Ohio. Unsuccessful each time.
God bless those people at Toledo.
Is that a great way to capture your constituents, threaten them?
It's an interesting way to split up the electorate, I'll say that.
You've probably had some bizarre things happen to you along the way in elections, I would imagine.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a while, so yeah, mostly on the other side of the on the consultant side, but yes, I've had some bizarre things happen.
And what are the major faux pas or some of the things that you guys really have to dig into at the Board of Elections to stay on top of stuff?
Well, first of all, registrations come in every day,
right.
And it is not an easy process. We have to make sure that records. You only have one record if you're in Oneida County. You move from Madison County. We're always working on issues like that. We're always building a ballot. Just because we have an election in September and in November, we're doing school board elections. We're doing village elections. So there's a lot we do behind the scenes, and obviously everybody shows up and they assume that they're ballots are going to be there and the poll books are going to be there. There's a lot of work that is behind the scenes to make sure that those things run smoothly. And it's not just myself. It's not just Rose. It's our whole staff, and we have a great staff. And it's stressful at times.
Signatures always come into question. How do you guys battle through that?
Well, that's always the commissioner's job to sort of to do that. And honestly, there's no rule of thumb. Unfortunately we're in a subjective business, and there's obviously candidates that disagree with us, and they have the courts at their disposal as well, so they can always seek the courts for relief.
Yeah. And one had to recently. One of the candidates had to go back and get replaced on one of the ballots. From what I understand.
I think
right?
he's Frank Tellery,
yes.
the minority leader there.
Yeah, but he's on the independence line.
Right.
Yep.
Yep, and he had to file a special petition for that, which was ruled upon in the courts, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
That's correct.
And I think you were alluding to this in a bit, that your job is to collect, retain, and maybe sift through the information, but not so much to determine the right and wrong. That's more up to the opposing candidate in a lot of those situations to bring up those as factors.
Yeah, we're a ministerial board. We're not there to investigate. We're
Right.
not there to prosecute. Obviously, we're there to. We always say that we are ruling on the four corners of the document. We don't have investigatory powers, thank goodness.
Right. So it's crossing the crossing the T's, dotting the I's, kind of thing.
making sure things are done properly. And that's New York State election law is some of the most arcane 800 pages you can read.
I bet.
And unfortunately, technical defects do matter, and that's just the way it is.
Changing the way that we vote as far as polling places from going to paper to electronic ballots. Your thoughts on that, and then the increase or the decrease, I guess, in polling places around our area.
Well, it's always a battle to get new polling places. From our perspective, we always want to give people as much access as they can to vote and to have a polling place that's very nearby. When we look at a place, though, understand that it has to be Americans with Disabilities Act compliant.
Right.
We have to have access to it in November from 5 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. It's got to be well lit, have a parking lot. I mean, all of these things.
Staffed.
It's different. It's just not that easy in upstate New York to find a lot of these places.
And then find volunteers or folks that are willing to.
Yeah, we're always battling, trying to get more inspectors in. We're trying to get them a small pay increase for next year because they deserve it. But it's basically a glorified volunteer job.
Yeah, when you talk about polling stations there, and it's always a challenge to find the compliant types of buildings for that type of thing. Have there been any strange places that people might not think would be a polling station? But
Porta John, something like that.
Yeah.
Hot dog stand.
Something strange.
I was told that in Oneida County. There used to be able to vote in someone's garage.
Really?
Seriously?
Yeah, not anymore though.
And how is that determined? Say Dave and I we wanna do it in the old building out front.
Well, then the commissioners come in, we take a look at it, then we make sure it has to be reviewed and inspected, and then we'll make a determination.
I'm talking to Jordan Karp, the Democratic chairman of the Oneida County Board of Elections here on the Talk of the Town, 100.7 FM, WUTQ. If you have any questions for him, feel free. 624-0870 is our number. You can text us 623-0373. Now, if somebody wants to register now for the election, can't do it for this coming Tuesday.
The books
right?
have closed this year, but you can always put a registration form in, and you'll be on the books in January. So because we have 4 elections next year at least. We have the presidential primary, we have the state primary, or the federal primary before that, then the state primary, then the general election.
It has been interesting over the past few years, and you've seen this. It hasn't been the normal elections. We had a lot of special elections in the state.
Yep.
We had our state, boundaries, redistricting. There's changes there. Going back as far as 5-6 years ago, the situation with our governor and David Patterson stepping in, and then another election there. It's just been crazy.
It is, and it puts a lot of strain on us and our budget, and it's difficult. It's and we're again always up against finding enough inspectors.
Yeah, and how about voter turnout in your opinion? Could it be better? Has it increased over the past couple of years?
I think this year will be higher than people expect. I think we've got 2 competitive mayoral races, and I think that people, it seems to be the farther down the ballot, people do turn out for those kinds of things. They know their mayor, they know the person running for mayor. They may not care about voting for the governor, a challenger in the governor's race. So the fact that candidates are touching more people may actually help increase turnout.
Are they getting better turnout in places where you can vote electronically or via your computer now, or not? Or does it not necessarily translate?
Well, I wish that New York, this is just speaking for myself, would go to more of a vote-by-mail system like they do in Oregon. to increase voter turnout. I mean,
Does it work there? Are they getting better voter turnout?
I haven't looked at the numbers, frankly, enough, but it's it takes a huge burden away from us in terms of having to. We have 800 inspectors on election day.
Yep.
I mean, that's a lot of people, and they cancel last minute. I mean, it's tough, and we lose them all to attrition at some point, obviously. So, to have people be able to vote by mail in the privacy of their own homes, take their time, maybe research the candidates, and to do that, I think would be beneficial to turnout.
In the world that we're in today, we expect a complete immediate turnaround, and you guys have been doing a great job to get those numbers out there, the night of, and not the next day, afternoon, morning type of thing.
It's I can't take credit for that,
Sure.
honestly.
By the way, when did Oregon make that change, and why are they the only state that's done that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Oregonians are a little strange.
Well, it's becoming a great place to live. I know a lot of Californians are moving up the coast to Washington and Oregon up there. So.
80% of Oregonians are employed at a craft brewery. So.
And what's your thought behind that? Is the thought that does it give you more time to get your vote out because you're able to produce it yourself, you're mailing it out yourself. You don't have to worry about a certain day and time where you have to hit the polling station.
It's that. It's the cost that we incur by paying inspectors. It's the insurance we have to carry at polling places. I mean, it's a whole host of things. The actual physical ballots obviously are a cost. So it may be a thing that New York State should or could look at in the future to help increase turnout and make it easier on smaller counties and smaller municipalities to run a more efficient election.
And that's a deterrent for me sometimes. And I don't know if you've ever ran in the state, but the day you expect, you wake up and I'm going to go vote. But this happens, that happens, and before you know it, dinner time comes, you got to put the kids away, and you realize that you didn't get out there.
And New York has got the longest election day in the country, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Yeah.
I mean, there are states out there 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Interesting.
So we give people an ample time to vote, but why make it one day on a Tuesday?
Gotcha.
More information available for folks. Where do they go?
ocgov.net/election.
All right.
You want to pick up one of the 300 bottles you have available?
Absolutely. AdirondackDistilling.com.
Yeah, and more news coming out from your distillery later in the month?
Yeah.
Or
so.
Into November? December?
Well, we hope to be end of November.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready for Christmas.
Yeah, I'm going to tease it a little bit for you.
All right. Bring in some product for that maybe announcement here on our show?
Absolutely.
Get past the election first. All right?
Yeah, seriously.